Oh, yeah, she wants to go sideways. She really does. Dear Elon, please can we have a new Model 3? Love, Rory.
This is the new facelifted Tesla Model 3, specifically the new rear-wheel drive Model 3 Standard Range Plus, the cheapest version you can buy in the UK at just over £40,000. It's Mr. Musk's present to the electric car loving masses this holiday season. It might look like an ordinary Model 3, but take a closer look and you'll see this 2021 version has some pretty useful upgrades on what was already a pretty useful car.
Ah. For me? Shouldn't have. Let's get rid of that. So the new Model 3 facelift isn't like one big present you get on Christmas morning. It's more like a stocking with lots of little presents that you get to unwrap individually. I'll show you what I mean. So you get some new wheel designs on the front and rear, obviously. And this car doesn't have a load of chrome like the previous generation car had. Instead, you get lots of little satin black elements here around the indicator repeater and all around this window frame, plus satin black on the door handles. And this is really interesting, this car now comes with double glazing. It's got double paned windows to help maintain a quieter, more serene environment on the inside. But this is the big one for me, because you now get an electric tailgate. On the previous review I did of this car, I complained that it didn't have an electric tailgate, and people moaned at me. They were like, why is he complaining about something so small and irrelevant? He must be working for big oil. But clearly, Mr. Musk has been listening, because behold, and look how cool that is. And that's just useful for people who maybe, you know, get around in wheelchairs or have mobility problems. It just makes life easier. And clearly, Musk has been listening. This is his present to me. Thanks, Elon. All right. Yes. How cool is that?
The other big change is that the boot no longer gets full of water when it rains thanks to some new guttering. More importantly, this car also comes with a heat pump. This is a more efficient way of heating the cabin and can extend your range, although it does reduce the front trunk space ever so slightly, which might make it less than ideal for Christmas shopping. But don't worry, it's still a practical car that can be used to carry all types of things if you're just willing to use a little bit of imagination.
Now, in case you're worried, don't be, because I found out that the roof in the Model 3 apparently is strong enough to withstand over 9,000 kilograms of force. That's the equivalent of almost 5 Model 3s stacked one on top of the other. So this thing is super strong. This Christmas tree ain't going nowhere, I hope. Now, in terms of interior changes in the 2021 Model 3, there are a couple of big ones. Notably, it's got a brand new center console. On the previous car, I moaned all the time that the center console, which was finished in this not too nice piano black material, was just super prone to picking up fingerprints and scratches. Even if you had a brand new car, within about a day of using it, it would pick up loads of scratches and end up looking not too nice. But they've replaced it with this nice smooth matte finish that isn't a fingerprint magnet at all, and it works a lot better. Instead of having that really annoying and fiddly push to release mechanism, this one just slides. You push it and it opens. If you want to close it, you push it again and it closes. Plus there's loads of room in there, and you get not one but 2 USB-C ports for high-speed mobile phone charging. But if you don't want to use cables to charge your phone, you don't have to, because Tesla, for the new Model 3, have installed not one, but 2 wireless charging mats. So now you can charge yours and your passengers' mobile phones just by placing them at the front of the center console. That is a nice touch and makes a massive change from that really fiddly flap thing you used to have on the old car. The rest of the center console is pretty much unchanged. You get loads of room in the space below your elbow, 2 cup holders, you get fairly decent door bins, and you get a glove box which has a USB port dedicated to the car's Sentry mode. So it's got this clever CCTV system that works in conjunction with the alarm. So when you leave your car and set the Sentry mode to be active, it will actually record on a USB stick anybody who tries to break into the car. And this new version is locked away inside the glove compartment, so thieves can't get access to it unless they have the pin. Very clever.
You also get black sill plates and a graphite finish on the electric seat adjusters.
And here's the big one. The pièce de résistance in the 21 model year Model 3 is a magnetically attached sun visor. There was absolutely no reason to do this, but they've done it. Elon, thanks bro.
As the standard Range Plus name might suggest, the 50 kilowatt-hour battery in this Model 3 gives it the shortest range of all. But thanks to new efficiencies, including that heat pump, the range is a useful 267 miles, a notable improvement over the previous non-heat pump equipped standard Range Plus, which managed only 250 miles. Maximum charge speed, meanwhile, is an impressive 170 kilowatts, so it can rapid charge faster than most electric cars in this price bracket.
I suppose I should probably talk about what it's like to drive. It's nice. It's really nice, in fact. I remember when the Model 3 first came out, I was impressed with it, and this one is, I would say, slightly better. These double glazed windows, I think, add an extra layer of noise insulation from the outside world. Of course, these cars don't make any noise from any engine, but because you're using an electric motor, you can hear other sounds like wind noise or road noise or tire noise. But in the new version, it feels that little bit more plush and serene than it otherwise might.
As for build quality, well, it's really not bad. Yes, there are a few panel gaps, but these look worse on camera than they do in real life. And quite honestly, this kind of issue isn't unique to Tesla. For the most part, it's all tied down quite well.
I mean, look at this thing. I've got the screen in the center console and I'm trying to move that with quite a lot of force, and it's not moving at all. That is bolted down. If you compare that to something like the VW ID3, which I reviewed not long ago, that thing's screen moves around like something out of a Christmas cracker. But in here, everything just feels nicely tied down. It really is good in here. Of course, it's not perfect in the new Model 3. There's a couple of things that I'm going to complain about. First of all, there is no blind spot recognition. In a lot of these premium cars, you get a little orange indicator in the wing mirrors that warns you when someone is creeping up on your blind spot, and these cars don't have it. Elon has tried to get around the problem by installing cameras all around the car, so now you can actually see your blind spot using these mirrors, but again, it's just a little bit too fiddly. I want something in my peripheral vision without having to look down at the screen. Normally when I drive, if I'm trying to change lane, I look in the mirror, I indicate, and if there's a problem, where I'm looking, I'm warned that there's a problem. In the Tesla Model 3, you have to actually look in your mirror, indicate, look down at the screen, and then do your maneuver. And it's one too many places to look before you make that lane change. Come on, dude. You know what to do for Christmas 2021. Bring us blind spot recognition. Also, give us Apple CarPlay. This thing still uses, all right, a fairly decent user interface, but I like Apple CarPlay, and no doubt a lot of people like Android Auto, so it would be nice to see those two features in future editions of this car. Also, why is there still no heated steering wheel? Okay, yeah, sure, you can pre-warm the car before you get into it on a winter's morning, but if that's the argument, why does it have heated seats? Give us a heated steering wheel. I want my hands to be warm on demand at the touch of a button when I'm on the move.
Lots of decent upgrades then, and still room to improve. And one thing you can't criticize is how well the Model 3 drives, because it really is impressive.
I suppose the biggest gift of all with the Model 3 is that it's just a more well-rounded car than it's ever been. It's always been a really, really nice thing to drive, but now it's just a phenomenal all-rounder that anyone can enjoy almost anywhere. Oh, Yeah, she wants to go sideways. She really does. A lot of people say electric cars are simply for commuting from A to B, but this thing actually fits your lifestyle much more than you might expect. It's a car that you can drop the kids off to school on short runs, or you can take it much further afield. You can do long distance trips in it, or if you feel like, and you're able to find somewhere like this, then yeah, it will acquit itself fairly well out here on the rough stuff. This standard range plus is a rear wheel drive car, and it will slide a little bit, even though you can't switch the traction control off completely. But what's really standing out for me is just how much fun it is. Like literally no matter where you go, this car is an absolute blast to drive. You might not expect the cheapest Tesla to be that quick in a straight line, but it really is. 0 to 62 in 5.3 seconds, 140 odd miles an hour flat out, and through the bends, it's just a riot. It really is. Okay, so there's no noise from the exhaust, there's no blood and thunder, but am I missing all of that? I don't really know if I am, because the car, as a car, is still an absolute hoot. There's this inherent balance to the chassis. It likes to be flicked left to right. It's quite flat through the bends. If this was a lesser car, that Christmas tree would have gone flying hours ago, but it's still there, it's still hanging on. And the Model 3, it's just an absolutely brilliant thing to drive all around. It really is. Thanks, Elon.
Is the Model 3 the kind of present we should all be hoping for this Christmas and beyond? For me, yeah. It's arguably the best electric car on the market right now. Tesla have maybe played it safe with this facelift due to the fact they haven't actually lifted the face at all, but there are enough tweaks beneath the surface. Improved practicality, usability, range, and subtle improvements in the looks department that mean the Model 3 is yet again the gift that keeps on giving.